What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Welcome to another road trip. The games are coming thick and fast. Man United against Burnley. Big game, horrible performance against Newcastle, and the fallout from that. You guys have known I've had my little say, I've had my little rant, and we're back on it again. We see if the boys can react. Little bit of transfer news though to start with. We have to talk about it because, you know, in a couple of days' time, the transfer window will be open, and we're getting those early bits of news as well. A little bit on Axel Tuanzebe to Napoli for Fabrizio Romano, confirming some interest in that, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I want to start with Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez, who I'm sure everybody knows about. I'm sure everybody has watched him for 2-3 years, been tracking him, watched him for 90 minutes loads of times, and knows exactly how good he is, which I'm not one of them people. But I've done the KG test. I'm not going to profess to know a lot about him because I don't. I've had a look at him in a couple of YouTube videos and stuff like that. What I can see from that, which is obviously his best bits, never their worst. Looks like he's comfortable on both feet. He's quick, good finisher. He can operate as a forward. He's 20 years old, plays for River Plate. But what we do know, which is coming out as more factual than, you know, my opinion on him, because I don't know him, to be honest with you, is the fact that Manchester United are willing to meet the release clause for him. A lot of big journalists, South American journalists, are claiming this as well. We haven't really heard anything too much from this side of the globe and domestic side of the journalists and that, but they're saying, the rumours are, is that we're interested in him, and, you know, initial talks have been held and meetings are planned, and the move is moving ever close. I mean, the way I look at it, just from an outsider looking in terms of not knowing too much about the player, etc., it looks like, okay, Martial out and this guy in, if it's going to take place. I think the Martial thing, like we said yesterday, we've very much got to sit on that and let them work out the best deal for Martial, wages, structure is that. But if he does leave, he will need replacing. Did I think we'd be able to get a like for like or a replacement for him within this window? No, never heard of Julian Alvarez in my life. I haven't. To be fair, I could just be, you know, I don't watch a lot of South American football. I don't watch any South American football, to be fair. Very, very rarely. Might watch the international teams a bit, so I know he's got some appearances for the Argentinian first team as well. Read that he made his debut coming on for Di Maria. So, you know, he's in and around the senior men's team as well, and he's been scoring goals at River Plate. He looks lively, he does look good. But I'm not about to be like, this is exactly what we need, you know. This guy's amazing. I've been telling you about this guy for time and tried to do that fake bullshit.
I've been telling you about him. Do you know, I've been telling you. Honestly, I've been telling you.
One thing I can't stand is like the claim to fame of players you just don't know. You just seen a couple of YouTube highlights or whatever, heard a couple other people talk about him saying that he's really good, and then all of a sudden you convince yourself, if we get him, I'll have a look then. Do you know what I mean? Like with my own eyes when he's in my team. Yeah, I'll look at some highlights and look at some of the basic attributes he has. Innit? If you look at YouTube highlights, you can tell like someone's okay. Like, oh, he's got a bit of ability, he looks good, but it's the best things they've ever done in one after the other.
In a 2-minute video.
In a 2-minute video.
not across 90-minute games.
Listen, bro, when we was on tour, I remember this because we was in the hotel room, right? You was there, obviously. It was when we was in Australia, we got to Perth, and I remember we were linked with Sean Longstaff, bro. I remember being linked to Sean Longstaff. You don't remember that summer when it was the Milinkovic-Savic summer, when we needed a central midfielder, which we still need. Imagine, since then, still been going on. It was Milinkovic-Savic the whole time. Then all of a sudden, Sean Longstaff just popped up, and then the guy from Southampton, I can't remember his name, he popped up. And I was like, let me just watch, like, you know, Sean Longstaff. There was time, I think he was on loan at Blackpool. He was snapping it in from 25 yards. You know, a couple of goals for Newcastle that season, because it's the season he came through. And I was like, well, he's quite decent, yeah, good on the ball. No. It's YouTube highlights, bro. You can type in YouTube highlights for anyone, innit? So I'm not saying like, don't believe that he's a good player. Look, we want him. There's a lot of interest there. He must have something. There must have seen something.
Do you think that's what Mike Phelan's doing, fam? He just gets on his iPad and then he
looks
goes...
at the YouTube, fam.
Yeah, looks at the YouTube. And then 100%. Goes, oh, do you know what, this guy...
He looks alright. Let me speak to Ralph. 100%. So yeah, obviously the scouts have seen something. I'm not disregarding them say shit, but I'm just not one of these people that are gonna watch a couple of compilations of his best moments ever and be like, this guy looks like the business, man. We need him. Do you know what I mean? But what I did see, you know, just to be honest, what I did see was someone who did look active. He did look like he can run. My thing is just, again, I just keep looking at our forwards, and I just can't believe they don't make runs. They don't make runs, all of them, apart from Ronaldo and obviously CAVANI. You know, I look at the other wing. I look at Mason. I look at Rashford. Even when Martial's been playing, who else don't make the runs really? Sancho's not really a runner like that. Like, I just don't see the intensity. And all the other good teams that I'm seeing doing bits have people who just make runs and just intense. I look at all the best wingers. I look at Son. I look at Mane. I look at all forwards, because they're not really wingers these days, are they? They're playing a front three. Son, Mane, Salah, Sterling, even Mahrez to a certain extent will run. Do you know what I mean? They just run. Players at Leicester do it. Just runs. What? Running behind. Like, occupy fullbacks, occupy centre backs. But yeah, hopefully this Julian Alvarez kid from River Plate can be that guy. Look, I'm not saying deal imminent, it's going to happen. I don't know, but at the moment, those are the biggest noises coming out on social media and coming out from a lot of big reputable journalists that are not based here though. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it. That's the interest. Let me know if you think. Let me know actually if you watch him. You might be really into your South American football. You might watch River Plate a lot. You might watch the Argentinian national team a lot. You might be Argentinian watching. So that'd be great as well if you have more information on him and you know about him. Don't just lie though. Don't just write an essay in the comments because you've watched the same video I just watched. don't just lie. Like, just, if you lot are thinking the same thing as me, put in the comments, yeah, Flex, I don't really know, but we'll see. Like, I respect that more. So get involved in the comments. That's the first bit of transfer news. Second bit of transfer news is Axel Tuanzebe. Obviously got the move to Villa. Hasn't worked out, hasn't been playing. Even under Dean Smith he weren't playing, to be fair. You got Konsa playing ahead of him. You got obviously Mings is the captain. He's always going to play ahead of him. And you got Courtney House as well, who was obviously getting involved ahead of him. So not getting any game time. And Fabrizio Romano confirming that Napoli are interested in taking him on loan with an obligation to buy. And they're trying to work out a fee/price. A lot of English players seem to be looking to head over to Italy as well. I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of players, believing in themselves and trying to secure some first team football. Axel's at that stage of his career. He needs to play. We thought he'd get that at Newcastle, at Aston Villa, sorry, but it hasn't worked out, and he's obviously way off it at the moment, and he's nowhere near playing. Obviously, Steven Gerrard came in. He's got his centre back sorted and not really looking to Axel. So if we can get a move for Axel, maybe bring him back off loan from Villa, bring him back to United and get the move for him, great. 6 months out there. You look at Tammy Abraham, how well he's done. You look at Tomori, how well he's done. I think I saw Maitland-Niles might be going to Roma as well. So there's a lot of interest in the English players out there. So watch this space on that. I think Axel's one where we've seen bits from him. We've always seen bits from Axel where we want him to get game time. He's never really had it. Then he's played right back a couple of times for us. Obviously that's not his position, but he's always been so far down the pecking order at United. Never going to get in ahead of Lindelof. Never going to play ahead of Bailly on a consistent basis. You go and buy Varane, that was writings on the wall. You know what I mean? So he's never going to play at Man United. He's not. As sad as that is, we want the likes of Mengi, Ethan Laird, Tuanzebe. Brandon Williams had a chance. I don't think he'll ever come back and be a first team player at United, but who knows? You want these players to get given a chance at least. And I feel like, would I say Axel's not been given a fair chance? Yeah, he hasn't played as many games as we probably would have liked to have looked at him. But in the games that he's played, can I put my hand on my heart and say, I think he's what we need game in, game out? Probably not. Probably not. And that's just me being honest. You guys may feel like, no, let's give him a chance. Imagine if he would have played sort of 10, 15 games on the spin. You never know. Maybe. But, that's that on Axel Tuanzebe. We'll see what happens there with Napoli. And then on to today's game. I mean, Ralph Rangnick obviously talking in the presser more about physicality. He says he knows exactly what Burnley are going to be like. They're a very direct team. We know what Burnley are going to be like, and it's the same thing. I reiterate everything I've been saying. If we turn up and play how we against Norwich, we'll get beat, which was what I said before Newcastle, which we should have got beat, but we didn't. If we turn up and play how we played against Newcastle, against Burnley, we probably won't win the game too. Do you know what I mean? We have to be ready. Rangnick is right. Physically, we're just way off it. We're just not competing with teams at all. Forget about with the ball, just even without the ball, and how we're looking after it, and how we're looking after our own performance and the intensity we're playing with. Non-existent. It's poor. It's piss poor at the moment. I just want to see a reaction. I really just want to see a reaction, man. Silence us. I want to be leaving Old Trafford today saying, you know what, we've put these players under so much criticism and rightly so over the last, you know, few days, or the last, you know, since the Norwich game, you know, questioning how much they want it, questioning how much they want to play quick, how much they want to, you know, play with intensity. But we saw it tonight, and we dispatched of Burnley very well. But I don't know, it has to be a kind of complete contrast in performance to what we've been watching. Team news, obviously, with Bruno not being available, opens up the spot for Donny. It really does, as one of them 10 positions. I looked at how Rashford played in one of them 10 positions alongside Bruno the other day against Newcastle. Horrendous. Shouldn't start the game for me. For me, the team. Well, I'll go through what my team would be. This is a question for you guys. Will Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw get a chance? Will they get in? Maybe. You could argue they should get given a chance. Because really, we haven't been good at all. I'll definitely bring Luke Shaw back in, 100%. And Wan-Bissaka, would I give him a go? I wouldn't mind. But against Burnley, we are going to need you know, good deliveries and good service into the box. But it's a chance for Wan-Bissaka. You know, he didn't even warm up. He weren't even out on the touchline warming up against Newcastle. So we'll see if Dalot keeps the shirt. Maguire, again, another one. Shouldn't be anywhere near. I don't know if Lindelof's back yet. So he might survive. But Eric Bailly has been stopped going to the African Cup of Nations because we need him. So play him. I would play Bailly and I'd play Varane. That's what I would do. The two ahead of that, one of McTominay and Fred. I'll play Matic. I'll play Matic and Fred. I would
keep it simple, Fred.
I would, exactly. Big up, Rick. I'll play Matic and Fred in this. I think Matic's calm and influence. I know that it's not all about height and stuff, but aerially you need to have some big bodies in there as well. I know it is kind of the same as having Matic, McTominay and Fred, one like little and large. But you know what I'm like with Fred. I just think he offers more. I think he offers a little bit more than McTominay personally. But I think Ralph will probably go with those two again, McTominay and Fred. Or we might even go with McTominay Matic, but I think that's too slow. I don't know about that. But we'll see. I personally would go with Fred and Matic. And then ahead of those two, I would go with Jaden and I would go with Donny. That's what I would do. I honestly would. I don't think Mason Greenwood was good at all. Didn't make any runs in the first half. Shocking from him. Shocking from Rashford as well. So I think those two should lose their places on a rotation perspective. Rashford has been coming a lot longer than Mason's. And then up front, it has to be Cavani, man. He has to play. He's just infectious. It was interesting to hear Ralph say that before the game. He was asking him in the days leading up to it, and basically Cavani didn't fancy starting the game. He said it was better to come off the bench, and he looked ready to me. He looked ready to me in the second half. So that was a good 45 minutes in his legs. Built his bit of confidence. Could have won us the game. Probably should have, or should have scored that second goal anyway. Then a couple more days training. There's no reason why Cavani can't start, and I think he will. I think it'll be him and Ronaldo up front. That's my team. Let me know what your team would be. Again, I'm not going to give predictions in terms of score predictions. I'll just predict that again it's going to be a really difficult game, and I worry that we're just not going to be intense enough again. Honestly, we're just going to look laboured. I just want that turnaround already. You know, there's I keep saying it. Tottenham are building momentum. Arsenal are building momentum. Chelsea are umming and ahhing. You know, they dropped points yesterday. Let's start taking care of this. Arsenal got Manchester City next, and we've got a couple of games in hand over them. Hopefully, City do the business. Do you know what I mean? And beat them, and we just start getting a run again. This is we've got this batch of, we call them winnable games, but they're still very, very tough games. Very, very difficult games to win. Burnley are not great, haven't been playing great, but neither of Newcastle, neither of Norwich, and look what happened. So, we've got to turn up and just take care of our own performances. So I will go over Man United win, just, but I don't think it's going to be pleasant watching. I hope I'm wrong on that. Smash a like on the video, guys. There's not going to be a match view tonight, but there is going to be a full view straight after the game. So as soon as the full-time whistle has gone, make sure you tune into United View and check out the full view. KG will be on there. You'll have Owen on there, and some of the other boys as well. So make sure you log into that, and then obviously we'll have the fan views after that as well. So smash a like on the video, subscribe if you are new. See you after the game. Peace.